Good morning, Grand Rising, and welcome to Testimony Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining the All About Favor channel. And remember, we have a couple of promotions going on for the 1500th subscriber, male or female. You will get this red mug from Pastor KZ, and it says, keep calm and carry on. That's what we have to do sometimes. Just keep calm and carry on. Keep going on for the 1500th subscriber. For the 2000th female subscriber, you too will get a mug. So please make sure you continue to keep emailing me walkinfavor61 at yahoo.com for the 2001 male subscriber. You will get a coffee mug as well. And don't forget your coldest water bottle is one of my sponsors. Try to pick one of those up. Very, very good water bottles. They come in all different sizes and colors. And it does keep your stuff cool for at least 36 hours. I've tested it and tried them, and I know that those water bottles work. Now, once again, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's sports wrap-up episode. I know someone got in their feelings, but it's okay. Now, for the testimonies today, let me get my little notes here. Testimonies. It's very important that you testify. Share your testimonies because many people they're given encouragement. They're empowered by your testimonies. And as the word of God say, many people are saved by others' testimonies. And I heard this old school song and it makes so much sense. If the Lord has done anything for you, or if he's been good to you, you ought to tell it. You know, when God does something for you, you've got to open your mouth and share it with people. You don't realize how many people's lives change when they hear somebody else testify about they was going through something and look at me now. I love hearing Tyler Perry give his testimony when he said, Tyler Perry and Steve Harvey both say, they were sleeping in their cars. They were homeless. But look at them now. And I know it's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. And if he did it for Tyler and Steve, I know there's somebody sitting out there right now watching this show thinking, you know what? That's going to be me. That book you want to write it. That play you have written, go ahead and get it produced. That new business venture that you have in mind of doing, get started. Nothing is going to change until you take the first step. Don't worry about the people who try to dissuade you and disencourage you. If you believe in your heart and you have a passion for something, go out and get it. Which brings to our first testimony. The first testimony is about a young lady who stated, I always enjoyed cooking and baking especially. She said, I had some financial problems and it was in a big way. I went through a very bad divorce and I had 3 children to feed and support. I was already working a job and a part-time job. And I'm like, I'm not spending enough time home with my children. They're growing up, they're teenagers. My son especially needs a heavy hand near him or he'll just get out of control because he's in that teenage stage. And she said, so I knew I used to cook a lot of food and, fix plates and stuff. So one day someone told me on my part-time job, why don't you just start selling some dinners at the house? And she said, I started doing that. And I'm like, this is just taking too much out of me. And I really don't feel comfortable with people coming to my home to pick up their dinners. So you never know, she said, who God has in place. She said, at the place I was working at part-time, my night job, there was a man there. And he began to ask me questions. And he says, what is it that you really have a passion for? What is that you feel like you was placed here on earth to do? And I said, well, the only thing I really have a passion for is cooking. I've always loved to cook. That's the thing. And he says, why don't you open up a restaurant or start a cafe or a food truck? And she's like, man, I don't have no money for that. I got 3 children. The only reason I'm working here at night is to keep our bills up. I'm recently divorced, so I'm just struggling trying to make it in. And he said, I have a proposition for you. And she's like, where is this going? And he says, no, just hear me out. He says, me and my wife, we've been praying about something that God had laid on our heart, which is to bless somebody. And he said, what's strange is last week at our prayer service at church, our pastor prophesied and said that you're going to meet someone, and that is the person to bless. And he says, and you're that person. And she says, wait, what do I got to do? He says, you have a passion for cooking, right? He says, guess what? I have something for you. And if you'll meet me and my wife at a certain place, your blessing will be there. And she says, She said, but for some reason, I didn't feel like I had anything to lose. She said, so I told two of my sisters, y'all gonna go with me and bring y'all husbands for backup in case this go a different way. And she said, when she got to the place, all she saw was this big old truck, like a food truck. And she said, and the man and his wife came out and they met each other. And the wife was very nice. And she says, you're the one God has chosen for us to bless with this. She says, I have a food truck, y'all. I didn't pay a dime for it. And I'm like, how much is this going to cost? How much I got to give y'all every week? And they said, nothing. Let us bless you, because we are blessed over and abundant. We are abundantly blessed. And we just want to give something back. Tell me that's not a testimony. Viewers, subscribers, is that not a testimony? And she says, Pastor KZ, I just want to tell you all that God is he is true to his word. He will put people in your path. You don't even sometimes have to look for it. And I have been praying for a way out. And this is what he's done for me. She said, I have a food truck business right now. And she says, and not only that, I've been able to pay my house off. Can you hear me? She paid her house off. And she said, in paying my house off, I was also able to quit both of my jobs. And now I'm doing my food truck, my catering business full time. I got a couple of employees hired. And she says, I am abundantly blessed. But with this blessing that I received, Pastor KZ, God has allowed me to pass the torch and bless someone else, pay it forward, and I've blessed someone else. And she said, and boy, does it feel good when you see people who are struggling just like you were, and you can relate to them, and it's like, you know what? This is what he's done for me, and I'm going to pay it forward, and I'm going to bless someone else. She says, we don't supposed to just get blessed to keep it for ourselves. We are supposed to bless someone else and encourage the next generation. So that is testimony number one. Thank you, my sister, for sharing that. That should inspire somebody. And I want to say this. What is your dream? What is the thing that you have a passion for? A business? What is it that you really want to do? What's stopping you? What's stopping you from trying? See, I am a firm believer that God will put you in the right place at the right time when it's your time. Who got that? He will put you in the right place at the right time when it's your time. I don't know who's watching today, but it's your time. It's your time. Your time has come. The breakthrough you've been praying for, it's coming. Do you believe that? As I shared with you a month ago about a young man who said he's been aspiring to start his own business, and he was saying no one believed in him. Well, that young man sent me an email for Testimony Tuesday, and I'm going to share with you his email. He says, "Good day, Pastor K." And when I say good day, it really is a good day. I'm the young man that you talked to that day, and I said I really have a passion and a dream for a business, but no one believed in it. And you, even though you were very blunt and I wasn't sure if I was ready to hear what you said to me, what matters is, do you believe it? If you don't believe it, then it's not going to ever manifest. Do you trust God for this? If you don't, then you're just wasting your time talking about it. He says, Pastor K, that stuck with me for a while. And I said, okay, today is the day I'm going to write her this email. Pastor K, the dream and the vision that I had, I finally got the courage to step out on faith, which is what you initially told me I had to do. I was sitting around, instead of me stepping out on faith, he says, I was talking about it with people. And he said, I do recall you telling me sometimes it's not good to tell everybody your dream or your vision, because the response that you look for, you may not get it. You may only get discouragement or people trying to dissuade you from pursuing it. And that is what happened to me. I had fallen into telling my dreams so many times to people, and everybody discouraging me, saying it's not going to happen or you wasting your time, until I began to believe them. He said, but I'm here today with a testimony. He said, guess what, Pastor Casey? I stepped out on faith. That's all I had was faith. And when I stepped out on faith, God sent somebody to help me. And the person that helped me ended up being an investor in my vision, in my dream. And I'm here to tell you right now, I got my business opened. I do have my customers. And I just want to say, Pastor KZ, I thank you so much for your words. Not only did you tell me truth that I needed to hear, but in telling the truth, you were encouraging me as well, because you told me I've got to believe it. And the day, you said to me, the day you start to believe that God will make a way for you, the day you get up and step out, because it's not going to happen until you get up. That happened. I received your word, and I just want to say thank you, Pastor KZ, for that. I will continue to email you and be a supportive of your channel, but also I do want to bless you, and I'm going to send you an email with how I'm going to bless you with my business venture. And also, I've started journaling, and guess what? You're going to get an email from me about the Tell the Truth Thursday episode. I have some truths that I need to tell, and some of those truths has been what has been hindering and preventing me from stepping out, being the best man that I can be. So look for my email. And to all of the subscribers, I just want to say, you all keep watching Pastor K. She may not say the things you want to hear at that moment, but if you just listen, it will help. Thank you again, Pastor K, for your willingness to be honest with me. Thank you, young man. I knew you could do it. I felt it in you. The way you spoke about it and how passionately you spoke about it, I'm like, all this young man needs is he's got to have faith. He's got to believe that he can do this and just step out. So thank you again, young man, for just sharing your testimony with us. Now, I'm only going to share those 2 testimonies because I don't want to go too long, because I think the Tell the Truth Thursday episode might be a little bit long, so I don't want to wear you out. But please continue to journal. Please begin to continue to share your testimonies to other people. Get some praise reports. There are praise reports you're sitting on that you haven't said anything about. He woke you up this morning. You have a roof over your head. You have food in the refrigerator. You got clothes to go on your back. Many of you have the use and activities of your limbs. Do you know how many people out there who have legs that they can't stand up on? They have hands and arms that they can't even move. Do you know how many people out there who are paraplegics, who are paralyzed from the neck down or the waist down, who wish that they could have just a day that they can walk, a day that they can fully dress themselves, a day that they can feed themselves, a day that they're out of the nursing home, out of the rehab center. They wish, some of them, that they were in your shoes. See, when you think you're having a hard time and things are not going well for you, you need to maybe take a trip to a nursing home and look at some of those people there. Go to the children's hospital and see some of the parents sitting there praying over their child with leukemia. You know, just drive around the block and look at somebody laying out there on the sidewalk on a piece of cardboard. And that in itself, you should just say, Lord, I just thank you. That's not my story. And don't just drive by people and say, well, they're there because they want to be there. Do you know their story? There's so many people out there with stories. Try to be a blessing to someone. Try to pour into somebody. It's the day when you're feeling really, really bad and low. Pick up the phone or get in your car and go and do something for someone. The lady next door, the elderly lady, why don't you just make her a sandwich? Take her some lunch. You don't know how you may bless someone just by saying a kind word to them. I've heard people give testimonies at testimony service in church. And when we were growing up, we used to laugh about, oh, here's sister so-and-so or here mother so-and-so finna give her testimony. And we used to sit and laugh as we listen to those people, because one mother in particular, she used to, like, y'all, I just got a testimony this morning. I just want to thank the Lord that I got food on. I had food enough on my table. Now, we as children didn't understand that. And as we got older, and this is what she would say, give the same testimony pretty much every Sunday. We would, how some people testimonies you have memorized. And as we got older, and I know as I got older, it dawned on me when she broke that thing down one Sunday, this lady, she didn't have the gift to sing. Or how some people just gifted to sing. But that lady opened up testimony service and she set that place on fire because the anointing fell on her, and there was a wave in that sanctuary, and people were slain in the spirit. And she said, I know y'all don't understand. For year after year, I get up and testify, but Lord, I thank you for the food in the house, because y'all don't know, there are days me and my children, my family went hungry. We didn't have no food. Y'all don't understand. It's a blessing just to have something as simple as food on the table. My children went to school hungry. I have gone to bed many a nights, y'all don't understand, hungry because I denied myself so I could put food in my children's mouth. And as you age, you're like, Lord have mercy. That's a praise report in itself. When you start looking around, you don't even know the people's story. You don't know the story. Like I used to hear the old folks say, I don't look like what I've been through. Now that I've gotten older, when I say to you, I don't look like what I've been through, I am a living testimony. Could have been dead and gone, but the Lord let me live on. I'm not here because of no doctors. I'm not here because of no medication. I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. That's a testimony right there. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent with y'all, but you all, thank you so much for joining me for Testimony Tuesday. I will see you back tomorrow for Reset Wednesday. Be blessed in your going out, and you're blessed in your coming in. You are above and above only. You the head and not the tail. Just remember, stay focused and stay favored. I'll see you tomorrow.